All right. Last time in this series, I talked about my 21st through 40th best of all time and sort of ranked their peaks. Said, if they went 0 and 4 during this period of time, I don't care. That has nothing to do with how good a player they became. Just took the best parts of their careers. I had this section, which is kind of solid run. This is something, it's not why they're on this all time list, but it says, hey, you performed really respectably, like something that adds to your legacy. Not a ton, but a bit, and it should be included. Then we have the kind of the good runs, the like, hey, yeah, this would be enough to get you in this kind of conversation, but it's not one of the outstanding runs, right? Then we have great runs. Here, this whole section was like really close for me. You'll notice some of the higher win percentages score lower than lower win percentage is. In general, one of the big things I noticed going through last time is it's really hard to do over 60% performance. So if someone has a higher win percentage, but to equal another person's longer run, more games played, they'd have to score over 60% to do it. It's pretty clear that basically didn't happen, right? If they had scored higher than 60% in the nearby runs they did, I would have included it in their run. And if they, because I'm splitting up by year chains, but I combine when it is favorable to a player. And in general, just looking next to these great runs, you usually don't see 60% performance next to it. So hopefully that explains some of the rankings here, but this whole group is quite close. And then we have, I think, kind of clear top three of really excellent runs. Two of them quite short term, one of them a little longer, all over 70%. This being the only run, I think, anywhere near 29 games that's over 70%. You see like 18 game run or 19 game run, but this is a 29 game run over 70%. This is the only 80% run we have, and this is slightly longer, and aside the 80% run, the only 75% run we have. So really good runs at the top, and these are kind of, that's the thing that makes these players special. This is really great as it is, and a lot of these players have a supporting moment that's pretty good or solid. Tezuka also appears twice in the great run category. Good runs, probably enough to get you top 50 all time. And solid runs, good chance it's enough to get you top 100 all time or close. Maybe not Piggyman's 5-4. I think I will remove that. But, this certainly adds to what you did. In fact, I'm going to remove Metis's 7-6 as well. Just a little too short. All right. So we're getting into the top 20 now. And in 20th place, after a fantastic run in SE Zidane, we have House Debonair. So obviously we're going to combine his 03 to 08. It's just it's interesting to me because he wins Triad Wars 1 and then is pretty good for a while. And then in 07, 08, he puts up a clearly better record. But you can't combine it in a way with Triad Wars 1 because Triad Wars 1 is 03. You'd love to have 03 plus 07, 08, but that's not how we do this. So we're going to combine these to get a 03 to 08, and he went 39 and 19, which is 67.2%. This is one of 3 50-game runs. This is our, I think, third 50-game run maintaining a really high level, and the only one over 2 to 1. So this is going to score well. Spoilers. The 11-14 we're getting rid of, and his 23 run, very short. We'll have to see. I always split up the return from other years just because it feels like such a separation. If it makes sense to combine back in, I will. Of course, I can't combine it with the 08 run because there was stuff in between. I think this lands in this helps your case, but is not super standout. Just needs more tournaments. It may change to something that does. I'm probably going to put it at the top of solid run, the 7-3. 7-3. Yeah. I think it's a little too short. We've generally not included stuff like this. So maybe I'll have it for now. I'll have it at the top of the group. But there's a reason I've not included runs that are this short. If we actually undo a bunch. If we oh, come on, you're so slow. Yeah, if we included it with the 1-2 part, we get up to 9 and 5, which starts making me think a little more that it's a reasonable number of games. But no, let's leave it at 70%. 70% looks classy. And I'm going to put it at the top of solid run. I don't really think this is nice, but I don't think it's a difference maker until more tournaments are included. The 03 to 08 run, though, that's clearly better than D's run, right? It is 4 more tournaments and a slightly higher win percentage. D would need to go 9 and 4, which is way higher than this kind of 60% baseline we've had. So we're comparing it now to the special runs. Does it beat Kazakh? Kazakh would need to go 18 and 11. That's a bit over 60%. Now, we've seen Kazakh right after it go a little under 60%. I think it beats Kazakh. I think Kaus is top 3. Does it beat Meta's best run? Meta would need to go 28 and 17. So that's 28 out of 45. That's 62%. Over so many tournaments, that's really hard to do, right? Because he has to play 17 more tournaments. Each of them have a title, so Kaus has 20 tournaments played here, and Meta has 3. 62% over 20 tournaments, or 17 tournaments, is so much to ask. All right, how about Kaus versus Bren? Bren would need to go 22 and 14. 61%. Now, it's fewer tournaments he has to do it over. But I'm impressed by maintaining this for quite this long, right? You know, you compare to Dream Virus. Dream Virus, really good run. Kaus does it an extra 8 tournaments, 9 tournaments, because there's a win in there. It's almost twice as long to maintain something. And if 2 people do something and one does it twice as long, it's a lot more believable. Like, it's a lot more, this is just true talent there. Because we've seen that over and over throughout these runs. We've seen these runs of someone does something for 10 tournaments, and how'd they do in the next 10? Well, they were 15% worse, 20% worse, right? And Kaus maintains this long. I'm going to put this as the best run here. There's a case I'm wrong. There's a very good case I'm wrong. But right now, that's how I feel. All right. Next up, we have SirSmokes. We're going to hit some players who I think are fantastic, and this divides up in a way that happens to be unfavorable. So, you know, there will be some ones I don't agree with. I do think SirSmokes is the best tournament resume of anyone we've looked at so far. And, you know, if this doesn't come out in a way that would rank him number 1 of the people we've looked at, that happens. But we're just looking at what it looks like. Like Piggyman, immediately good. Immediately good. Do we want to combine 2010 to 2015? Well, where does 22 and 11 land us? I feel like we've looked at 22 and 11s before. So it's got to be slightly worse than Kefka, right? It's going to be right around where Tezuka's top result is, kind of this range. Okay. What if we combine it with 23 and 16? We make it 45 and 27. That's 45 out of 72. That's 62.5%. 45 and 27. Let's compare to, say, Dream Virus. Dream Virus would need to go 21 and 16. That seems doable. Piggy would need to go 9 and 7. That seems doable. All right, let's compare to Kefka because that's the range we were looking at. Kefka would need to go 24 and 17. That's just under 60%. It is a long time to hold it. Grat would need to go 12 and 9. That's a little under 60%. Yeah. So I think we combine them and we'd put it right, say, ahead of Kefka. Adding the 7-6 probably doesn't help. I think the 7-6 is just going to get lost like the Piggy 5-4 did, like the Metis 7 and 6 I deleted did. But it's worth noting SirSmokes was immediately good at this game. And always will be. But I think we're going to put SirSmokes here, 2010 to 15 as his peak, and 45 and 27. I already forgot what that is. I think it's 62.5%, right? Because it's 5 times 9 and 3 times 9. Yeah. Okay. So not an amazing spot for Smokes by this way of doing it, but Smokes is better than this suggests. We will not be doing Karmazin, though Karmazin is not up next because we skip short-term players. We have Chicony. So Chicony, despite a semifinal in the return, we're going to remove that. And we have these 3 runs. 21 and 10 is... I just feel like we've seen that before. But I think we combined it with something. It's right around where Jadad is, right? 18 and 8, 21, 10. Touch below. Yeah, so it probably lands somewhere around there. Can we get it better by combining? Because we can add in something over 60%. So we can get that to 31 and 16. Also note he did this against insanely strong opposition. 31 and 16, just under 2/3. That definitely moves ahead of Jadad. Does it move ahead of Piggyman? Pretty similar to Piggyman. Yeah, I think we'll combine those. Chicony, 12 to 15, 31 and 16, 66.0% is the rounding. Oh, 31. 31's got to be ahead because he'd go 5 and 4 to equal Piggy, and 5 and 4 is very doable. And note, he was basically 5 and 4 preceding it. Does it pass Dream Virus? Need to go 7 and 5? Dream Virus can go 7 and 5. Okay, so it goes here. And also gets a nice boost off this one. Nice little boost. 12 and 9 player. That definitely goes in the, like, this is not a game changer, but I think we put it here. Very immediately a good player, and then became a great player. Especially if you adjusted this one for opposition, it becomes one of the best runs here. But it happened in a period of shorter tournaments where he was constantly paired with Yojimbo, and he basically beat everyone he played except Yojimbo, including very strong players. So once you opposition adjust this, you can see why I have Chicony 18th overall. 17th we won't cover because it's Karmazin, and Karmazin can play enough. 16th is Turdz. What to do with Turdz? Long-term player, goes in and out. Kind of unclear what to do with it. Gonna get rid of this just for space. So we have an 8 and 7 to start with. We won't want to combine that into this 19 and 8. Is 8 and 7. 7 and 6 I cut from my list, but I think 8 and 7 is just good enough I won't. So we are gonna add Turdz here as a solid run. This 10-11 run, we're clearly not going to combine into anything. That's gone. $19.8. Well, that's better than Jidatsu 506. That's pretty easy to say. Does it pass Piggy Man? Would need to go 17 and 12, just under 60%. Now we can see Turdz' surrounding numbers are lower than 60%. So again, you can't always assume 60%. How does it compare to Mafi Josie? Mafi would need to go 4-3. Mafi can go 4-3. How does it compare to Dream Virus? Would need to go 5-3. That's close. How about Chicony? Would need to go 12-8. Again, this is all right on that 60% line. I'm going to generally favor the person that played more tournaments, I guess, and put it one ahead of Jadot. But this could be higher. Then we have 14-15, 9-7. Given that 8-2 is so short, I think we want to combine the 8-2 with something. But we should combine it with the 11-6 before we combine it with the 9-7. So if we do this, we get 19-8. Hey, he went 19-8 again. We know what percentage that is. That's 70.4% again. Does 9-7 add to that? No, he really needed 60% to add to it. But it's kind of amusing that we have Turdz equaling Turdz on 70.4%. That's really nice. I'm glad that happened. I hope Turdz watches this and goes, hey, that's fun. And then finally, we have a 9-7. If I put 8-7 here, but it would have been here anyway, it's better than 8-6. 9-7 is certainly making our list as a nice little boost. So Turdz is one of those runs where he has two great runs. One modern, one less modern. And he also has a whole bunch of times when he was not outstanding, but very good. And they give him nice little boosts. All right. What should we try for this time? Should I stop here? Make this a less horrible video to watch? Make it shorter? I think I will. I'll do 5 at a time. Yeah. And I only did 4 this time. But there's more to say as we go.